Cool.
Ah, fuck.
Yes. Swear word by Trey on the podcast. Yes.
Fun cards just went everywhere. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Financial Illiterates. That's financial as you find in the dictionary, and illiterates, Illiterates. I don't know why I kept the dictionary thing in there. It just was kind of funny a couple episodes ago, and it stuck.
We're keeping it.
We sure are. Today, we're going to talk about the future value of money and why $1 today is worth so much more than $1 tomorrow. But first, that video last week was ridiculously long.
Yeah, we're going to do the quickest recap on last week's as possible.
Oh, man. Yeah, last week, so we recapped Graham Stephan's 7, really 8 habits of highly effective money or something like that.
Of making money.
Making money. I'll get the title right, never.
Yeah.
It was good. It should have been like 5 episodes, though. Maybe 7. Maybe 7 episodes.
Yeah, it was almost a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
It was a tad long.
So if you did watch it, especially if you watched it all the way through, I'd love to hear your feedback on it. I think I probably already know what the feedback is, but I'd like to hear it anyways. With that said, should we jump into today's topic?
Yeah. What is the future value of money, or rather like the time value of money?
Cool, yeah. So this came out of a conversation that I was having with our dear friend Andrew. And
What's up, Andrew?
I have no idea how it even came up. It just did. It just came up. We were talking about the future value of money, and I was trying to describe to him how $1 today is worth a lot more than $1 tomorrow. And that's not because of inflation. Actually, this whole conversation is just going to completely ignore inflation. We'll get to inflation in a whole another episode, because it's a whole nother thing. But if you assumed inflation was 0 and you had $1 today, or let me rephrase, if you had the option of getting $1 today versus $1 in a week, you should always take $1 today. And that's not just because you want it now. That's because it's actually worth more money. And to prove that,
let's do some math.
Yes, to prove that, I did some math. Justin and I spent actually a decent amount of time coming up with these numbers, so I'm just going to read them straight from here. I'll get into more randomness in a second. I don't want to have this too random of a start. So, here's your choices. By the way, these are fake choices. If you message me and choose one of these, I will not have this money for you. Okay, your options. $55,000 today. Or you could have $1,000 every month for the next 5 years. And I forgot to write down exactly how much money that is.
That's $60,000.
$60,000.
So would you rather have $55,000 now, or $1,000 every month for the next 60 months, totaling $60,000?
Correct. My suspicion is that most people would pick the $60,000. What do you think?
It depends. If they're listening or watching this, they might be becoming financially literate.
Fair.
Be like, hey.
Fair. If they're a fellow financial literate, then if
they know anything about investing, maybe they might take the 55.
Right, but that's why I said the average person, Justin.
Oh, man.
The average
I don't look at
person.
anybody as average. I always see the best in everybody.
Jeez, what a sap. Also, yes, I have cards.
Trey's a big card guy. He likes playing with his deck.
Yeah, I kind of got into this whole deck playing thing. It's called cardistry. Right. It's got a way cooler term than deck playing. Just don't let Justin influence you on this.
I think isn't it like at deck playing on Instagram? Anyway, let's do some math. Let's do some math.
It's not. Okay. Back to the math. $55,000. If you took the $55,000 today and invested all that money at an average of 6% return year over year, blah, 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 for the next 5 years, it would come out to $73,602. So you would make, I didn't do that math, I don't know, a decent amount. Cool. If you took the $60,000 that you were paid out monthly over 5 years, that's 60 months. So you took $1,000 every single month for 60 months and invested it into the exact same investments, earning the exact same return per year, you would end up with $70,118, which is a difference of
$3,000.
I don't have the numbers in front of me.
$84.
$3,484.
If you take the $55,000 now and invest it. So that's a good example of the future value of money and the time value of money.
That is the future value of money. We're done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess one final piece before we end it all is like, why is it important? I have that part if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm in a weird mood today, if you can't tell.
Yeah, this guy's just been playing with his deck, and then he's getting in a really weird mood.
Yeah, exactly.
Big deck guy.
Yeah, big deck guy.
So this whole concept is pretty important to people who are looking to invest because, as the example showed, $1 today is worth more than $1 promised in the future. And that's because the dollar today can be used to invest and earn interest on itself. And $1 promised in the future is actually worth less because of, I know we didn't want to talk about this, but inflation. Inflation plays in a big part of that.
Yes, inflation plays a big part of that. We did not calculate inflation into those numbers. But this so a practical example of the future value of money. And I remember where the conversation came from. Yes. Sorry, looking at the stocks. I am really all over the place today. I remember where the conversation came from. We were talking about taxes. So we were talking about the decision to minimize your withholding paycheck to paycheck versus maximize your withholding paycheck to paycheck and have a lower tax bill at the end of the year. And so that's how we started getting into the conversation of that. Whereas if you're minimizing your tax deduction, your tax withholding, every paycheck, you're getting more cash earlier than if you ended up just getting it back later when taxes are due, whenever that is. April 1st? Are they normally due April 1st?
I think it's like the 15th or something like that.
15th, okay. I've filed extensions for the last 5 years because of Greenbits, so I actually legitimately don't know. But we were talking about that, and it's worth a lot more money to minimize your withholding week over week or bi-week over bi-week or month over month, however you want to say it, because of the future value of money. Even if you just put that money into a Ally 2.1% or preferably Wealthfront 2.57% savings account, you're going to make more money than if you just wait to get that money back at the end of the year, because all of that money has reduced by inflation and hasn't grown at all in any sort of investment accounts.
Yep, very true.
So that's where the conversation came from. And then I realized it's really hard to describe the future value of money, which is where this episode came from.
Yeah.
And I hope you can follow it because I'm being ridiculously random.
Whole episode on inflation? Or are we going to... I don't know if we need a whole episode on it, but...
Okay.
I guess the high level of inflation and like what it does to your money, like it basically just makes your purchasing power go down. Meaning like $10 today won't buy as much as $10 1, 2, 3, or 10 years from now.
Yeah, $10 today is gonna buy $8 worth of stuff next year.
Yeah.
Is that right? Nope, that's not right. $9.80 worth of stuff next year. Man, I'm really bad at this math thing. I don't know why you rely on me for math. I did this in my recent.
You for math.
I did this in my recent YouTube video too. Plug, link in description. And I got the math wrong on that 2% Ally interest 3 times. It was really bad. It was really bad. But yeah, inflation makes the future value of money even more impactful, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
And these are all things that go into my thinking day to day. Even when I was I'm looking around because I have a bill somewhere. Even when we were buying something large for the house, tick control system, because, well, we won't get into that. They had the option of paying it all up front, which I had the cash to do, and they offered a discount. Forget what the discount was. I don't know. Or you could pay just part of it now and the rest later. And so I chose to pay part of it now and the rest later because the future value of money. But you can do all those sorts of calculations, and if they offer, I don't know, say a 10% discount, that might be worth it because your investments may not add up to that mixed with inflation. But the future value of money is important because it should affect all of your financial decisions on whether you pay it now or pay it later, and all of those things.
Cool. So what are we talking about next week?
Yet another topic that I've really wanted to talk about. I feel like I come across as just a huge finance nerd on here.
And a big deck nerd. Oh, there's a fly. Just fly right by you. Or just hit your camera.
It's ridiculous. I've had this fly catcher for what, like 2 weeks now? It's caught 3 flies. If I look around, I can find one. I guarantee it. Okay. That was a bad guarantee.
All right, let's stay focused.
I can't do that today. Next week, a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a while. Everywhere you go, you see people talking about millennials like they don't know how to manage money. And like they're the worst at money of anyone in history of anything. And I just don't believe it. I think that the older generations always look at the younger generations like they are bad at money. Well, because, you know, when you're younger, you know a lot less about money. And so you should be. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to actually try and find some data on this, hopefully, maybe, if I can find the time to do that. But that's what we're talking about, and I'm excited about it.
I'm stoked. We're going to talk about data and are millennials more broke than other generations?
Yes. Another thing I think I'm going to do, probably on my YouTube channel, if you're not subscribed, below, is a how to set up your budget series. Like a detailed step-by-step setting up YNAB, how I have that all structured and how I manage that month to month. So that's another thing that I'm kind of excited about because I'm a huge deck and finance nerd.
That he is. I can confirm.
It's true. I think that's it for today because, well, people probably couldn't follow me.
Well, let's try and, we're probably a little over 10 minutes, but we're close. We're really close.
Yeah, close.
Cool.
Fuck.
Yes. Swear word by Trey on the podcast. Yes.
Fun cards just went everywhere.
Motherfucking glorious day.
Okay, that's it. We have to end this thing or it's just going to get really, awesome. Really ridiculous.
Holy
okay. We will see you guys next week for episode 20. Bye.
Bye.